Hello. In today's video, I would like to talk about Loewe. Now, Loewe has recently become quite a well-known brand, the brand of today really, but it wasn't so in the past. Until relatively recently, not that many people spoke about Loewe, at least not amongst the general public, unless you were into high fashion, shop designer goods regularly, or were hanging out with Spanish royals. But then something happened in the recent decade that completely transformed the brand, and then you guessed it, they brought a new lead designer, Jonathan Anderson. He was 29 at the time, from Northern Ireland, and he had a daring strategy. Now, the brand already had strong foundations laid by its legacy and previous designers, but Anderson understood pop culture and how to appeal to younger generations. Then Anderson introduced some quirky designs that gained popularity and attention amongst the media. He also had a lot of collaborations with celebrities, which also helps. For example, the cast from The Succession were at his show. But then there was one other thing that helped the brand grow. Some years ago, a lot of luxury brands were shying away from selling and promoting on the internet because they saw it as something that could potentially damage their brand reputation. And they were late to embrace online engagement. Now, social media completely changed the game because the consumer went from a passive observer to an active participant and commentator. So they felt included into the world of luxury, even if they weren't frequent buyers or were just window shopping. Now, Anderson's arrival coincided with the rise of Pinterest and Instagram. People started crafting their own lifestyle on Instagram feeds, often more aspirational than real, but that's a topic for another time. There were a few other influences along the way that impacted the brand growth, so we will delve into them, but first, let's see where Loewe started. Now, the brand was founded in 1847 and specialized in leather goods, such as handbags and purses. They even supplied to Spain's royal family and were granted a royal warrant of appointment in 1905, thus becoming purveyor to the royal household of Spain. Then in the 20th century, the brand gained popularity amongst celebrities and writers such as Ava Gardner, Sophia Loren, and Hemingway, but then kind of faded into the background, still remained a luxury brand, still held a prestigious position, but the pool of the clientele was somewhat smaller, more elite, and less vocal. The brand only started making clothing in 1965. That was when their first ready-to-wear collection was launched. So that's almost 120 years apart. Then, in 1996, Loewe was bought by LVMH. Now, LVMH is well known, even notorious, for their appetite for sleepy luxury brands that they can then revive, especially an old brand, and Loewe is actually LVMH's oldest fashion house. Before Anderson took over in 2013, Stuart Vivas was the creative director of Loewe. Now, to give you some context, Vivas was with Mulberry before that and had given it some edge. And I remember myself around 2011-12, Mulberry definitely had gained some traction, and I remember eyeing the bags myself. Then, after leaving Loewe, Vivas went to work for Coach, which again has gained some traction. Now, when Anderson took over, he had, one could say, an outlandish approach. Definitely daring. He introduced designs that were appealing to pop culture, that created a lot of noise. We could say he started painting Loewe's canvas with some rather quirky strokes. Take the balloon heel, for example, which Euronews called visually impactful and social media friendly. Some love it, some hate it. The point is, they make noise. Now, having quirky designs that attract media attention is great, but then you need to have a solid line of basics that people actually buy and wear on a daily basis. Because not everyone wants to make avant-garde fashion statements, and some of us like our fashion to whisper, whilst others do find the allure in the audacious. So while some items spark debates on social media, others quietly slid into daily wardrobes. Then there was the perfect timing. So as I mentioned, Anderson's arrival coincided with the rise of social media, or specifically Instagram and Pinterest. Suddenly, everyone was a curator, curating their own lifestyles on these platforms. And if you need to constantly create content, obviously you need variety. And at some point, traditional luxury brands may begin to feel been there, worn that, and they start eyeing lesser known brands, something a little bit more edgy and spicy. Brands that are fresh and underrepresented. And Loewe's timing was perfect for that. Another important point I want to mention is the connection to art and culture. Now, luxury brands are well known for associating themselves with a higher mission, and they often collaborate with artists and create foundations. This was exactly what Loewe did in 1988. They created their own foundation. Now, Anderson's input came in 2017 when he introduced the Craft Prize for craftsmen who will set new standards in the industry. Now, the prize is 50,000 euros. Your work will get exhibited and you will also gain some media attention and coverage. Another way luxury brands like to emphasize their connection to arts and culture is by casually dropping visual remarks and subtle cues. Take Loewe's latest menswear collection, for example. Actor Jamie Dornan, yes, the very one from 50 Shades of Grey, was caught on camera whilst casually reading Kafka's Metamorphoses. This was during the shoot and he was just having a break. Then this is casually posted on Instagram. Now, Kafka's Metamorphoses isn't exactly a light-hearted read, but this carries a symbolic meaning. It not only invites the viewer to make their own interpretations, but also subtly asserts to Loewe's depth that there is more to the brand than just surface-level glamour. Now, what about the future? Well, here's a twist. With its rising fame, Loewe is potentially on track to reach the level of Chanel and Dior League if it hasn't already. Now that's brilliant, but it also means that Loewe may transition from the edgy choice to just another luxury brand. Well, it's the fashion life cycle. At some point, a brand reaches a stage of maturity and becomes an old dream once achieved. On the other hand, if the brand manages to stay relevant, it can gain a lifelong clientele while still appealing to new consumers and becoming timeless. We're yet to see what the future holds and whether Loewe can remain relevant in this ever-changing world. But one thing for sure is that it's the brand of 2023. If you are interested in luxury brand management, then join my Facebook group where I will be doing exclusive training for the members. Thanks for watching. Bye.